Good morning. Good morning. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together and chat about what's going on in the world of weather. And this morning, we are going to be talking about some really beautiful weather. But before we do, if you don't mind, let me just take a few moments to just kind of reflect. Yesterday, in the Orlando media landscape, was a truly tragic day. Central Florida's media community lost such a young talent. And here we are, kind of picking up the pieces again as a community. Dylan Lyons was a reporter over at Channel 13. He had interned at Channel 6. He had interned at Channel 9 and was fighting his way through our television business. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. I worked and interned at Channel 9 before coming over to WESH. Alex Alisi interned and worked at Channel 6 before coming over to WESH. I never had the chance to work with this young man or to get a chance to even meet him. But that should show you what a small community the television news business is. And we report on these terrible stories day in and day out, but this one touched us. So on a personal note, I am sending all of my prayers and all of my thoughts not only to my colleagues at Channel 13 that worked with this young man, but at Channel 6 and at Channel 9, those that knew and worked alongside him, and our community over at UCF. He was a Nicholson grad. But he wasn't the only one that was taken yesterday. There was also a 9-year-old and a mom that were, the 9-year-old was taken. The mom seriously injured. What a senseless act yesterday. So my prayers and my thoughts go to all of them. What a sad day in Central Florida. The entire community, truthfully. So anyway, I did just want to take a few seconds to talk about that because even though we all have a different logo here, at least in the media world, listen, when the camera's not rolling, we're all joking and being together because we're all in this extended, dysfunctional at times family that is local news. And another thing, if I may, God, I hope the bosses don't get mad at me for this. We are in your community fighting for you. And I've said this so many times, like, it doesn't matter what political side you are on. We're out there fighting for both sides. We work so hard to keep things middle of the road. So I just pray that, that everybody knows we are fighting for the community, holding those accountable that need to be held accountable. And, at least you know that's the very core of our values. So that's that. God, what a sad day. Okay, let's do what we need to do here and talk about the weather. And this morning, it is a little foggy in some spots of Central Florida. We are, though, in a great stretch of weather, and it will be a great stretch of weather through the day. But let me tell you something. It's going to be hot, like all-time record hot, potentially, today. We're going to be discussing all of that and, making sure you've hopefully got an update, not only on the local forecast, but also on what to expect going ahead to the weekend. Radar, first warning, live Doppler radar. The atmosphere is such, we're seeing bugs and birds and other things. Nothing going on there. That's the good news. Here's a look. Temperatures across Central Florida. Not to summer's levels, but it's mild enough. 68 degrees in Orlando, 70 degrees in Leesburg, 63 in the Villages, and 61 in Ocala. We do have a little bit of fog around Central Florida this morning. Let's pop up the visibility numbers. Also want to let you know I've got a sick little one at home, so if I need to run or if I holler at him, don't judge me. I'm double team coffee talking and parenting. You all right, Eric? All right. Thank you, buddy. Just checking. All right, here's a look at the visibilities. You can see downtown kind of a little foggy. Back over to Ocala, a little foggy. St. Cloud, a little foggy. Not too bad, though. Once the fog burns off, my friends, we are to a hot day. All right, there's our 12-hour forecast. The hottest temperature we have ever seen in the month of February is 90 degrees. And we are expecting to get there once again today. 82 by 11 o'clock. 87 degrees by 1 p.m. and 90 degrees, our high temperature, 3 o'clock this afternoon. This should tie the all-time record highest temperature we have seen for the month of February. And it's not just that. That's the month record. Okay, the month record only have ever made it to 90 3 times on record, and that last time we did so was back in 1960s. It was not on today's date, okay, but back in the 60s in the month of February. Now, when we look to today's date, the record high temperature is 89, set back in 2013. We should surpass that. We should hit 90 degrees today. Sanford should hit a record of 89 degrees. Leesburg should hit a record of 89 degrees. Daytona Beach should hit a record of 87 degrees. Melbourne, more than likely you'll fall just short of the record. We could get a little closer than 85, could be a little further, but there's where we're at, all right? It is going to be a very, very warm day in Central Florida. Record heat, both on the day level and on the month level. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad day. It just means it's going to be a toasty day. Next couple of days, listen, especially when you look at how it compares to averages, it really gives you an idea of where we're at, right? Like 90 degrees today, 89 for tomorrow. Hold on, I need a sip of coffee. Right? Average high temperature is 76 degrees. So it's warm. I mean, no matter how you slice it, it's warm. We do have ourselves a weak little ditty, a weak little cool front. All right? Wait until you see these temperatures, though. Yeah. Not like it's going to do much for us. Not like it's going to do much for us. So, listen, that just means that we get to do things like this, talking about the water parks. If you're heading out to Volcano Bay today, looks pretty good. 85 degrees by lunchtime, 90 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. Linda says it's a pool day. I 100% agree with you. I think it's a pool day too. I need to add a little water to my pool, but I definitely also think it's a pool day. Now, with temperatures looking the way that they are, one thing I want you to know, okay? Let's look at our high temperatures around Central Florida today. 90 in Orlando, 89 in Claremont, 88 degrees in the Villages, 87 degrees in Palm Coast. While we are to record heat, the one thing to understand is that we are not summer, like flat out summer temperatures in the mornings, okay? Take a look at the muggy meter. Remember, mugginess is dew point temperatures. And in the summer, those dew point temperatures are in the 70s. You don't have dew point temperatures in the 60s. So just understand that we are still keeping things very, very comfortable overnight. Okay? At least there's that. At least there's that, yeah. Oh, and by the way, since we're just talking about all this fun stuff, spring is 25 days away. Less than 100 days from hurricane season, and less than a week now from the release of our 2023 hurricane season forecast. Which is kind of wild to think about, truthfully. Less than a week away from the release of our 2023 hurricane season forecast. Goodness gracious. So, there are no words. There are no words. Is this graphic? I think this graphic auto-updates. Nope, does not auto-update. Ignore that. All right. So here we are. 7-day forecast. Looking nice. Looking toasty. There's your cold front. A sprinkle or two on Tuesday, but it's not going to do a whole lot. It's just not going to do a whole lot. Taylor says, buckle up, y'all. It's about to get busy. Oh, we'll be discussing things. We'll definitely be discussing things. But, yeah, you know, hurricane season is right around the corner after all. So, good times. All right. 7-day forecast, pretty basic. Jennifer says, I just love spring. You know what it is? I think my favorite season I think is fall. Is fall. I think that's my absolute favorite season. But by this point in winter, I'm pretty much ready to get back into spring and summer. I'm pretty much ready to go with it. Yeah, I'm pretty much ready for that. That's where I'm at. Yeah. Kenneth says next launch is possibly Sunday, 1:12 p.m. Starlink, maybe postponed for Crew 6 preps, and then Crew 6 Monday, 1:45 a.m. overnight Sunday. So yeah, Kenneth. So let me chat a little bit about that. First off, weather's looking good. I was able to weasel my way into covering Crew 6. So let me tell you a little bit about where I'm going to be, okay? Sunday morning, Saturday and Sunday morning, I'm doing sunrise. Going home after sunrise on Sunday to get a little bit of sleep. And then I will be at the Kennedy Space Center live with you for WESH 2 News at 10 on CW18 on Sunday night. WESH 2 News at 11 Sunday night. And then we're doing a little bit of coverage at like 1 o'clock-ish in the morning for the actual launch of Crew 6. If it was going to be Sunday morning, I was not going to be able to cover it. But I always get my credentials just in case. So we'll have the Weather Lab out there doing our thing. We'll be on with Starlink, and we'll be with you tracking every little bit of Crew 6, the forecast. While the forecast looks good, remember, I only talk a little bit about, I talk about the forecast, but like, I also try to nerd out, that's the benefit that I think that I bring to WESH's coverage. At least this is how I pitch it to the bosses. Like, I bring that nerd factor. Like, ask me anything. I pretty much try to learn as much as one non-rocket scientist can about the rocket. Like what booster are they using? What other flights has it been on? What's the, all of these things. The more technical things. Like Heidler is really good at understanding the, what the mission is and those elements. That's the different nerddom from what I kind of encounter. But yeah, so I'm pretty much the mechanics nerd, and he's more of the like details nerd. Yeah, for what it's worth. By the way, just for anyone that's curious, it's going to be a brand new first stage on this. Booster 1078 is tasked with the mission. Very first booster. And the crew capsule is Dragon Capsule Endeavor. Kind of neat. So anyway, always fun. Always fun. Lots of fun. I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's fun. I like it. It's the 14th mission, by the way. It's the 14th mission for SpaceX of the year, which I think that's insane. 14th mission, 14th launch, and it's February 23rd today. That's just craziness. So, yeah. What's the pollen forecast? High each and every day. Each and every day. Taylor says, I'm assuming Crew 6 is manned. I could be assuming wrong, though. I like how you capital it, because to assume is to make an out of you and me. Anyway, yeah, Crew 6 is manned. It's a Falcon 9 rocket that's going up. It's just the next rotation at the International Space Station, so it is a manned rocket launch, yes. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because it's not just, so there's two NASA astronauts, there's a Roscosmos astronaut, and then there's actually someone from the MBRSC, which is the United Arab Emirates. So it is a truly international crew, which is, it's kind of neat. Debbie says, I love nerdy. Let's do it. I'm always about nerdiness. I will be showing the mission profile. I will have all the nerdiness. There's Chris with the April calendar. It is not done yet. I'll get there. Listen, I need to also apologize. I didn't have an afternoon coffee talk yesterday. So, Eric, I got a call. I was working on my 1998 tornado story from yesterday, and I got a call. From the daycare saying that he had a fever. Turns out kid has strep. And what's so interesting, and I don't know, parents, you all can certainly. This is the first time that we've had strep in the house. So, at least I had it, when I was younger. But the doctor was like, "Oh yeah. So strep within 12 hours, he'll be no longer contagious, and he can go to school by Friday." And I'm like, "Well, that's good because he has a triathlon on Friday, so he wants to do that." But I guess I just remember strep taking longer to take care of. But no, I guess not. So, kind of funny. Kind of funny. Cat at the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket, Dragon, Capsule, Endeavour, same as Bob and Doug. So funny. I was holding that one back, Kenneth. I was gonna use that on my Sunday. Yeah. So Endeavour has flown 3 times. It was on Demo 2, it was on Crew 2, and its last mission was actually on the Axiom 1 mission, which I was covering as well. That was back on April 8th. The Axiom 1 mission lifted off. So it hasn't lifted off since Axiom 1. So there's that. But yeah, the first time that Endeavour flew would have been with Bob and Doug, which is kind of cool. Back in 2020, May 30th of 2020, Demo 2. And sidebar, being at the Kennedy Space Center, can I just nerd out for 2 seconds about it? When I was there for Artemis, okay, and I walked up the press mound and went into the room, like the media gallery room. Like, you walk by astronauts, but like, I turned around the corner and it's like, oh, there's Doug Hurley. Like, Bob and Doug, Demo 2, turn around the corner. Oh, there's Doug Hurley. And I was like, I would have loved to shake his hand. I would have loved to take a selfie. But I wimped out. Because, like, he's not there for me. Like, what's he gonna say? But then in retrospect, I'm like, Artemis was flying. Maybe I could have been like, hey, new craft. You flew on a new craft on the Falcon 9. Like, can I talk to you? I didn't. Damn it. So I'll do it. I'll have to grab him another time. But it was so cool. Yeah, Terry, this mission, it's just the 6-month rotation. So it's the next crew on the International Space Station. Yep. Jan says, I'm always here for the nerdiness. You know what they say about assuming. Yep, that's right, Taylor. You know. Does it get cold next weekend, Patrick? Listen, the raw GFS model isn't all that impressive. Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's not all that impressive. Maybe a little bit. Debbie says, I kept looking for you on Coffee Talk. Hoped all was okay. Air out. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Taylor says, once the antibiotics hit, they'll work quick. Yeah, I mean, he's already had his second dose, so... So they say that he's non-contagious, and he seems to be feeling fine. He's watching Disney Junior. You okay, Eric? Yeah. He's fine. Kid's fine. What can I say? Oh, boy. Just have to have the antibiotics for 24 hours. My kids had a lot of it growing up in Colorado. Yeah. John, question. A local Utah meteorologist said the Madden-Julian oscillation is responsible for the cold and snowy weather out west. What is MJO and how does it compare to the LRC? That is a question I need to prepare for with graphics. It's not... I would just say that the MJO is one way to shift things around a little bit. Yeah. And when it goes in here and goes in there, when it goes in this phase or that phase, it does change things. Kenneth points out as well, the Boeing CST-100, the first crew demo, is coming up soon. Yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to fight like hell to cover, Kenneth, because there's a lot of history going into this. First off, Boeing has launched Starliner. The first was a not complete success, even though ULA hit their targeted orbit. Second was a success. This is going to be the first crewed Starliner. It's going to be ULA's first crewed mission. And moreover, what's kind of interesting, Starliner and CST-100's first crew demo, that's going to be the first manned mission off of the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in like 50 years? You have to go pre-Apollo. Mercury and Gemini lifted off from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. But essentially, Apollo forward, all the crewed missions have been off the Kennedy Space Center. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit. Now, that said, SpaceX is retrofitting for crewed missions off of the Cape as well. So that's going to happen as well. But nevertheless, there it is. Priscilla says, rest assured, it gets better when they're in high school. After they get their doctor's visits, they catch up with us. Their immunity. It will be before you know it. Our precious babies grow fast. Listen, I just registered Priscilla, Eric, for kindergarten. He's going into kindergarten. You're going into kindergarten, Eric. I love you. Oh, he's eating his waffle. You keep eating your breakfast, buddy. Keep eating your breakfast. Oh, boy.
Daddy,
Yeah?
I ate my waffle.
Good job.
I only have this left.
All right, eat those oatmeal squares. Oh. You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah.
Looks like we have an invasion here at the house, everybody. Is the Empire taking over? Are you speechless? Okay. All right, go eat your breakfast. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Go eat your breakfast. Okay. Jeannie says, teenagers, prepare for attitude. There's that too. Yeah. Janice says, more germs in kindergarten. I'm sure. Bruce, oh no, I'm scared. Yeah. Breathe heavy if you're okay. The Empire, they just come out of out of left field there, you know? Oh boy. Thanks, K Cannon. He's fine. Honest to goodness, he's fine. He's totally fine. He's fine. It's a stormtrooper. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? It's going to be warm. That's the theme here. It's going to be warm. All right? Scary, I know. All right, listen. That's enough of that. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Hug your friends. Make sure your friends know you care about them, because you never know. God, yesterday was just such a tragic example of that. I want you all to know I treasure every bit of it, our relationship together, every bit of it that we get to share. So thank you. All right? All right, I will see you at 3:30 today because Eric is on the mend. Oh, what do you got there? A blaster? The stormtrooper's pointing a blaster at me. Cool. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I should be able to see you at 3:30, barring a random old doctor's appointment, but I don't think we'll have that. Oh, it's not a blaster. It's sunglasses that he's using as a blaster. Very cool. Bye, guys. See y'all later.